So you bought a dust collector for your shop. You want to catch all that sawdust at the machines. So you went out, you bought the dust collector, you bought the piping, and now you're moving on to the fittings, and you're realizing how really expensive it is to get blast gates or other fittings for your dust collection system. This is a blast gate that I created that works very easily. It's super inexpensive, and you can make these in your shop in one afternoon. This project starts with some scrap 3/4 inch Baltic birch. I set the saw fence to 6 inches, and I'm going to cut a series of 6-inch squares out of this Baltic birch for my blast gates. Once I cut my squares, I found center on each of the blocks and then brought them over to the drill press. I have a 4-inch hole saw that I've put in the drill press and marked center, and then I'm drilling a hole through each one of those blocks. Could you use a hand drill? Yes, but it's a lot easier to use a drill press if we're going to use a hole saw that's big. Next up, I went to the recycling bin and I found a tin can. Typically, these are the tin cans that you'd find like tomato puree or stewed tomatoes in. They are 4 3/4 inches high. They are 4 inches in diameter. Perfect for my blast gates. I then brought it over to the bandsaw and cut the tin can in half. You could use a Sawzall or a jigsaw to do this. I just found that the bandsaw was the easiest. We then went and got a can opener and cut out the bottom section. So what we wind up with is 2 halves of this can. With our holes cut and the cans cut, we then mount them inside our blocks. We then put a layer of silicone caulk or latex caulk all the way around to seal the edges. I also put some pin nails just to hold them in place while the silicone caulk dries. We then went to the scrap pile and got a piece of HVAC ductwork, and we're going to actually make the blast gates. So we took some HVAC ductwork here. We cut it so it's roughly 4 3/8, 4.5 inches wide, and 5 3/4 inches long. And we also cut some small strips that were 1/2 inch wide. Those strips then get mounted on the edges of our blast gate. The other thing I did is I put a little piece of cardboard underneath that 1/2 inch strip, and then I tacked it in place. Cutting down some 3/8 strips of plywood into 6-inch lengths by 1 inch wide, I then sandwiched my little blast gate in between and pinned it. With all of our pieces cut, we've got our tin cans on, we've got our little 1/2 inch strips with a little bit of cardboard in there to space it out. We've got our gate with the handle, and it slides right in and closes up that blast gate. And then when I want to use it, I just pull it back and it opens right up. And being 4 inches, it fits right over HVAC ductwork, it fits over flex tubing, it fits over PVC. And of course, because you want everything nice in the shop, you then got to paint it gray. Here's our blast gate mounted. As you can see, the flex hose fits right over that tin can with a hose clamp. And on the other side, the 4-inch HVAC slips right over that can as well. Once the paint dries on those gates, we'll insert it into this little slot, pull it out, push it back when we want to use the table saw. Here's another solution for my disc sander. Have the gate in place with the HVAC ductwork, the flex hose, into my dust collection shroud. There's no need to spend a fortune on dust collection fittings. You can make them at home yourself. Thanks for watching.